Part 1. What elements and information are required to complete a suitable lighting design? So as we go through, Robin,
Sure.
can you help us start off?
Absolutely. So customer comes to us looking for a lighting design. We need either a plan, AutoCAD or PDF plan. If they haven't got that, a diagram at least, length, width, height of the building. Very important that the heights are there. If you send us an AutoCAD plan and it's just a plan format without the heights, we still can't do it. We then will need to know what the room is, so we can determine the lux levels for the room. If it's an outdoor scenario, that's a little bit different. We'll need to know where houses and roads and things like that are. But basically, the more information we can get up front to start with, the quicker the design gets done and back to you.
Okay, so basically, you know, why are site conditions so important? You know.
Well, if someone just said, could I do this lighting design? They send me a shed, say 20 by 20 shed 5 meters high. What's that shed being used for? I don't know. It could be there could be live storage with a forklift, or there could be manufacturing with high detail. I don't know. So I need to know all that stuff to determine the lux level required is the number one thing.
Okay, and that lux level requirement and knowing the purpose of use and things like that is required so it can fit in with an Australian standard.
Absolutely, yeah. So we have all the Australian standards. You'll see them on screen now. So the main one for us for interior use is AS 1680, and there's a few versions of that. Covers from everything from a house, domestic house, to our industrial shed. So everything's covered within that standard. So we just have to extrapolate which room better suits the actual application that they're giving us.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, and that would also apply for the likes of sporting fields and things like
Absolutely. that. Sports have another code as well, so yeah.
So like you've mentioned, you know, a suitable drawing. Now you don't mind if it's in PDF or AutoCAD because you can import it into
We can
into
import
the software.
either of those. If it's a PDF, it has to be what I call a clean PDF, which means it's an actual print from the AutoCAD file. If it's a scanned document that someone's written on and whatever, that doesn't really work either. Right. So all that will give me is the details, but it won't give me the actual plan to import. If it's a very basic shed, that's probably not an issue.
Yes.
But if it's a shed with 40 rooms in it, it's going to be a lot more difficult.
A lot longer. Absolutely. And you know, and a lot of people do come for a lighting design, and they're normally in a hurry for a lighting design.
In a hurry. Yep.
The other thing that when you're doing a lighting design, you have to consider the luminaires.
Correct.
And the type of luminaire.
Yeah.
What's the reasoning for that?
Reason for that is, again, it comes down to the type of work that's happening in that shed. So if it's colour critical, or called colour critical, if they're doing any forms of painting or identifying colours or anything like that, then we need to know that we've got a good high CRI in that room. If it's an outdoor area, say a bit of security lighting, then perhaps the warmer colour temperatures we can use there because it's not as critical. So, yeah.
So there's an example of that on the PowerPoint presentation that you can see now. A high CRI, the flowers look very, very clear and crisp. Whereas with a low CRI, they're very yellowy and very warm.
Correct.
I mean, I suppose you could call one is very stark and one is very warm, but
Absolutely.
they both have a fit for purpose.
They both have fit for purpose. Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.